To talk more about the breaking news of this bipartisan deal to secure the border, I am joined by Ron Vitiello, former Chief of U.S. Border Control, also former Acting Deputy Commissioner of CBP, and former Acting Director of ICE. Ron, it's good to see you. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thanks for inviting me, Natasha.
Let's start with the breaking news, the bipartisan deal to secure the border. What's your immediate reaction to hearing this?
Well, now the words are out, so people can start thinking about contemplating what this looks like in implementation. And the 5,000 per person threshold over a 7-day period seems difficult to measure, difficult to calculate. And then why are we waiting so long? It is already illegal. It's already a federal crime to cross the border illegally, whether you're claiming asylum or not. And the framework that puts this threshold in place doesn't seem like a good idea to me. That's millions of people that will be coming to the border. I don't think this slows them down. Now, closing the border would, and the previous administration, right, the policies that were in place, allowing people to have their due process while waiting in Mexico, ended the last surge, that and the Title 42 authorities. And so this doesn't seem to be more of that. Obviously, resources are going to be a concern. I know that my colleagues in CBP and the DHS frontline are spending money they were not allocated for. You know, they had 300,000 people encountered in December, 170-some thousand this month in January. And so they're overwhelmed with the amount of activity that we're seeing at our borders. And so resources are going to be important. I'm not hopeful that this bill, you just talked about what the House is going to do. It doesn't solve the problem in a permanent way. Structural changes are required. That is the realm of Congress, but I'm not sure they got it right here.
Okay, what would they have needed to do differently to get it right in your eyes?
I think they should enforce the migrant protection protocols. That's already part of U.S. code. That's already part of the Immigration and Nationality Act, the safe third country idea. Resources for that and the mandatory use of it. And I'd like to see a little bit more detail on what they mean by the end of catch and release, because if you close the loop, if you stop releasing 85% of all the encounters into the United States, you reduce the burden on the places where they're going. You reduce the burden at the border, and you reduce what's going on in the pipeline. People will stay home if they do not get a release in the United States, and that's what needs to happen.
Okay, I appreciate that. What do you make of Jorge Ventura speaking with his sources, Republicans already telling him this is dead on arrival, they will not vote for this?
Yeah, well, that's the problem, right? The structural change needs to occur. And we know, I mean, the speaker has been eloquent about the things that Joe Biden did since he became president. And this is one of the problems that they could have prevented. They knew what the outcome would be once they ripped down the migrant protection protocols, ended the asylum accords with the Northern Triangle. This is the effect of it, and we're seeing it. And they did that knowing full well what would happen. And here we are, record-breaking numbers. And even at the pace for the 7-day average, even January, you know, the numbers went down a lot, but it's still 6,000 people almost coming to the border every 24 hours.
What do you consider is the must-have for a border bill to get this under control? In your opinion, what is the one thing, maybe two things that are missing from the Senate bill?
You have to close the loop. You have to put in a system that allows people to have their due process but doesn't release them in the United States. And so there's only two ways that's ever been done. Sufficient detention resources, very expensive, challenging logistically, or the migrant protection protocols, this safe third country idea. Work with our partners in the region, work with Mexico for them to deploy, to keep people out of their country, to allow people to seek asylum in the safe third country. That's what needs to happen. If you close the loop on releases, then you're going to have a successful outcome. You're going to allow the men and women of the front line to do their job.
Okay, very few people understand the intricacies of this situation the way you do. Ron Vitiello, I always appreciate your time. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.